Hi, my dear students. Happy Tuesday to you. Remember that this week we're looking at types of sentences. Before we even started looking at the types of sentences, we had a video on phrases and clauses and a video on dependent and independent clauses. These two topics are essential because the clauses are what create the types of sentences. So understanding clauses in effect helps you understand the types of sentences, and the types of sentences helps you, as I said, with your writing. So I'll do a quick review first. I'll start with phrases and clauses. We said phrases are a group of words that have just a subject or just some form of verb. They don't have both of them together. Clauses, on the other hand, have both. They have a subject and they have a verb. Then we went ahead and we looked at the types of clauses. So there are subcategories of clauses, and there's two of them: dependent and independent clauses. We made this analogy about how dependent and independent we made this analogy about children and adults, right? We said the dependents are the ones that are like children because they depend on somebody. They cannot stand alone. They cannot survive alone. And then we looked at the independent clauses, and we said independent clauses can stand alone. They're an adult version, basically, of a group of words. And understanding that now will help us understand the types of sentences. Let's take a look at the one that we're looking at in this video. We're looking at simple sentences. Like the word suggests, these are the simplest form of sentence writing. So the meaning says simple sentences involves one independent clause consisting of a subject and a predicate. One independent clause. Remember, independent clause can stand alone. So a simple sentence is a group of words that has subject, predicate, and a complete thought, just like an independent clause. So a simple sentence equals basically an independent clause, right? So it expresses a complete thought. Here are a few examples. So the first example says, Mary waited for the train. If you notice, Mary there is the subject, waited is the verb, and there is a complete thought. It's a simple sentence because it only has one idea. Let's look at the second one. It says, Mary and Samantha took the bus. If you notice, this particular sentence has some form of compound but only subject, right? It's still a simple sentence because it's only one idea being shared in this sentence. These two people are going to the bus, right? One idea, one thought. Looking at the third one, if you notice, it says Mary and Samantha arrived at the bus station early but waited until noon for the bus. So this is still a simple sentence because although it has a compound subject and a compound predicate, it is still sharing one idea. So those are simple sentences. Simple sentences are the simplest form of sentences. However, if used properly, they can add to your writing rather than make your writing look like baby work. So here are a few ways it can be used. Like, when can you use a simple sentence? A simple sentence can be used to build tension. You know, when you're reading one of those stories that are about mystery, short sentences can be used in writing to create that tension, that mystery. So a series of short, simple sentences used together may be used to create tension. Here is an example so that we see how simple sentences can be used effectively rather than making it a drawback to your writing. So let's read. It says, we rounded the corner. He was there. We stood in awe at the sight. So having short sentences in this extract made this little piece build some form of tension. Rather than have a lengthy sentence that would encompass all of this, the author chose to write in short sentences. I believe that in third form we read a story about, I don't know if we read it, but we read a story called The Boy Who Loved Ice Cream, and at the end the kid is too excited. There's just a lot of things happening, and the author also uses short sentences to build that tension at the very end of the story. Short sentences can also be used to emphasize. So instead of using it back to back to build tension, sometimes short sentences can be placed strategically in a paragraph to highlight something. So short, simple sentences can also create emphasis if a short, simple sentence follows a series of long, compound, or complex sentences. It will stand out and it will create emphasis. So it'll stand out if everything around it is complex, lengthy sentences. That little short sentence would stand out. So that's an effective way of using simple sentences. Here's an example of it. It reads, "We heard a gurgling sound that was sweet music in our ears, and peering around found a stream of fresh water almost at our feet. A moment later, we were down on our knees, drinking the pure ice-cold water in long draughts that put new life into us. It was a splendid moment." Notice here that the last sentence is highlighted because everything before it was lengthy. And so this last sentence is emphasized because it's so short in comparison to the others. So if you want to highlight something, in this case, the author here wanted to highlight that feeling right at the end. It's splendid. So all of this description builds up to that little short sentence that pointed out, oh, by the way, everything was beautiful and everything was nice, right? So those are two effective ways to use simple sentences. So when you think of using simple sentences in your writing, think of the purpose of them. Don't just use a bunch of simple sentences in your writing, and it will make it look like if you are not great you're not a great writer, or there's something that you're not adding, right? You're not putting effort. But if you use it with purpose, these simple sentences can bring a little change to that writing, and it will show that you have a command of the language, as we say. So have a great day, guys. Bye.